What is up and welcome back, and today we have a brand new Converse sneaker. This one right here is going to be called the Chuck Taylor All-Star Construct, and it is going to be an 80s inspired basketball shoe. Now, when I did look online at the description, they did kind of make it seem that you can ball in this sneaker. But when I received it in a hand, and sort of what I was already thinking, this shoe is not going to work for me for actually playing basketball in. And the reason for it is because it does sit somewhat high, as you can tell. Right here, that midsole is really high. But you're not going to have no extra support right here in the heel area. And that was somewhat expected because Chuck Taylors, especially when they're canvas material, they don't have no extra support back here. And if you like to play really fast and stop on a dime or jump really high, you're not going to have that combination of support right here. And it also sits somewhat high, so that can be somewhat a liability when you're out there playing because you can roll your ankle. So for me, that's why this shoe is not going to work for actually playing ball in, but it is going to be a great lifestyle sneaker. So with that said, in this video we're going to get into some good things about this sneaker and maybe some things I didn't like as much. So let's begin. So the first thing I do love about this sneaker is I compared it to other models that I have, and this lining is going to be the most softest of them all. Okay, I do have the Chuck 70 Marquee. I did compare it to some CX models as well, and this one came out on top. This lining, it feels real soft. I'm thinking maybe they added a little bit extra material, like an extra layer, or it's a little bit more thicker. That could also be it. Or maybe it's just the quality of it. It's more soft, but it definitely feels very soft compared to all the other Chuck Taylors that I have. Okay, so big plus in that area. Also, I did love that they put right here this heel stripe. Some Chuck Taylors have this and others don't. But I do like seeing it because it definitely helps out maintain the shoe structure so it doesn't cave in on itself. Especially when they're high tops, sometimes they kind of tend to bend down a little bit more. I know you've noticed that. So that's why this heel stripe is there for. So again, love to see it. Also, I do have to commend Converse with the canvas they've been using lately. Some of the older models is not as high quality or as soft. But some newer models definitely have been having this type of canvas, and I love the feel of it and I love the quality. So again, this model has real nice canvas, so that's going to work very well. And if we get a closer look, this detail right here I'm not too thrilled about. It's going to be the stitching that it comes with. It does have this circular stitching that also moves in this direction, but it kind of makes it look that it's unnecessary or that there's some open space, like something's missing. At least when I look at it, that's the effect that I get. And then we turn around, you do have that same pattern as well, but this time you do have the logo right there, the traditional star. And I would have preferred that they went with an actual patch instead of having it fused like you see right here. It tends to kind of look like a sticker, and to me it looks a little bit tacky, right? I do love when it's a patch and it looks nice and solid. It looks more clean, more nice. But again, those are small details. Maybe it doesn't bother you, but I tend to be a little bit more picky, and maybe you're also picky as well. Okay, you do get your traditional ventilation holes right there, real soft laces. Okay, I would have felt maybe they went a little bit longer with the laces because right here I do have it somewhat tight, but if you make them a little bit looser, you tend to have not that much room on the laces. The loops tend to be real small. Okay, but those are little things that I noticed in this pair, and you can just swap out the laces as well. Okay, so lastly I want to talk about the bottom portion of this sneaker. Okay, as you can tell, looks very different compared to other Chuck Taylors. It does sit super high. Kind of does look like the utility for the Berkshire. We have it right here, right? Has a real thick midsole. Okay, it's very similar, but it is different. Okay, so you are going to have again that extra traction Converse is known for right here in front of the toe area. You do have that rubberized toe box as well. Okay, And then you're going to have this right here, okay? And I feel they added this for that extra support, for that lockdown feel, especially in basketball shoes. Sometimes they have something similar in order to keep your foot strapped in and give you that stability. So I feel that's why they added this right here in this model, okay? Now, one thing I'm not going to like about this model is right here on the racing stripe. This right here is called a racing stripe. A lot of Converse shoes have it, and it tends to be kind of like this gum glossy material that they add, but in this case it's just going to be painted on, okay? So it does give you the illusion that you do have that racing stripe, but it's just going to be painted on. It's not an extra material or nothing like that, okay? So just so everybody is aware of, and again, I would have preferred they actually put it on there. I love seeing those little details. And at the bottom, you are going to have this herringbone, okay? And it can feel that your hand maybe slides through it, okay? But that's going to be because it has that factory finish, but when you start wearing it, it is going to grip a little bit better. So just so you know. Now, right here, you are going to have somewhat of a visual puzzle, because underneath the herringbone, you do have that diamond pattern. Hopefully you can see it. I'll give you a reference. I'll bring this one right here. When I noticed that, I thought that was real cool to look at. So you see that diamond pattern? That's going to be underneath the herringbone. So that's very sick. Very sick to see. Okay, when I noticed that, I was like, whoa. Hey, that looks real nice right there. A little extra detail underneath the herringbone. And this is what the insert looks like. It's going to have the Converse name. Then it's going to have a lining on top of it. And this lining is going to help out the sock from not sliding within the sneaker. Then we turn it to the side. You can see the thickness of it. It is going to be a very nice sizable amount. And then underneath you can see the material. It's going to have this rainbow spotted effect to it. So I do love this insert. It is going to be very reliable. And not just that, also inside the sneaker we can see is going to have a strobo board. Okay, there's going to be that white material right there. And a lot of companies nowadays do like to use strobo boards because it helps out a whole lot for the insert from not sliding, especially when you put some glue or a sticky substance. It just grips real well within there. Okay. And then with the insert, like we mentioned, you're going to have that lining on top of it for the sock. So you're going to have detail on top of detail, and you love to see it. So that's going to do it for this sneaker, and the price tag for it is going to be $85 USD. I think it is a fantastic shoe if you're looking for an 80s inspired lifestyle sneaker, and definitely with the off-white colorway, I think it's one of the more cleaner looks for this model. So there you have it, the Chuck Taylor All-Star Construct, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.